Hello, folks. My name is Eugen Zhuk, and today we are talking about Solid. Um, what should I say about Solid? Oh, sorry. Uh, First of all, I'm engineering manager in EPAM Systems. I'm more than 10 years in software development in different roles, from junior software engineer till team leads, delivery manager, and so on. So I tried to understand solid principles. I've tried to use solid principles, and during these few uh, videos, I believe it will be something like 5 videos, I will tell how I understand these solid principles now, how I use it, and how my understanding transformed during this years. So this is the first video, and we will start with the first letter. It's letter S, which stands for single responsibility. I believe we can switch on my sharing screen. Yeah, thank you. So it's single responsibility principle. What we should say at the very beginning. First of all, solid, it's kind of solid thing. So it's not just a few different principles, and you can use one principle and avoid another, and so on. Solid, it's wow. So solid, it's kind of again solid thing, and you can just use all principles, and only in this case everything will be I would say good in your software development. Another thing I should mention about solid, that solid it's software design principles. It's not how to implement software, it's not how software should live, it's about designing. So, and it's how it should be at the very, very beginning. So you should use these principles, you should follow them, at least try to follow them from the very starting of the project. So let's start with SRP, single responsibility principle. For me, it's the most complicated principle, I would say, from all solid, because its name. So when I first heard these words in maybe something about 10 or 9 years ago, my more experienced colleague said that single responsibility principle, it's very, very easy thing. So it's about your class, your object should be responsible for only one thing. Okay, it's easy to understand. It's easy to use, as I thought these years, and that's completely wrong. Then I read some books, and I read this definition of single responsibility. That's how it was declared by Robert Martin in 1990, probably one. I don't remember exact date. So the single responsibility principle, SRP, states that each software module should have one and only one reason to change. I haven't understand anything, frankly speaking, because as for me, first of all, what is module? Is it class? Is it object? Is it function? What is it? It's not clear. What does it mean? Reason to change one and only one. So I don't know. So for me, reason to change is okay. We have a bug in a code, so it's a reason for changing. Yeah, why not? Another reason, I would like to refactor something. Again, it's a reason, and just I would like to change it. It's again the reason. So it's not clear, at least for me. I didn't understand it. I didn't use it, and I returned to the simple. I'm sorry, simple description, which I saw a lot of times in different articles, in different books. So, in other words, class should be responsible for one thing, or it should do only one thing. Again, it's clear. And as I said previously, it's completely wrong. So, it's correct from one point of view because we have one rule, but for functions. And in a clean code book, it's said that function should do only one thing and should be as short as possible. And that's in many cases replace the real means of single responsibility principle. Because in another article and in other books of Robert Martin, he described this principle completely in different way. So let me show two things. So one, it's a book, Clean Architecture, and another, it's an article in Robert Martin's web blog, where he described how this principle was invented and why we most likely don't understand this correct. And I really encourage you to read at least this article and this book as well. How it looks now. So if you open Wikipedia for single responsibility principle page, you will see completely different definition. So single responsibility principle, SRP, is a computer programming principle that states that a module should be responsible to one and only one actor. What has changed? For changed to two, and reason changed to actor. Later you can see that described what is actor. Actor is one person, stakeholder, or business function in your organization. And that's the really sense of this principle, because single responsibility principle, it's not mostly about software, it's about the people. Because reason of changes, it's people. It means some person from, I don't know, some department in your organization. It could be your users, group of people. It could be, I don't know, any stakeholders in your organization, in your company, and that's it. But what's important, it's always people. It's not refactoring, it's not bug fixing, it's not a flip chart, it's not an original design according to your solution architect. It's people. How to understand it's maybe in more right way. How I understood it. So few years ago, I participated in solution architecture school in EPAM, and I faced it with Conway's law. This law says that software product usually represents the communication flow in your organization. I didn't understand it because how it could be, I don't know. But when I start thinking about it with single responsibility principle, it became clear for me. And let's maybe we'll proceed with the example. I used the example from Robert Martin's book because he has invented this principle, and I don't think somebody will explain it better than him. So we have some class, let's say employee. This class consists of three different methods: calculate pay, report hours, and save. Most likely, in the first glance, we could think that everything correct with this because everything related to employee. And if I saw it few years ago, I would say that yeah, that's correct because class employee responsible for everything related to the employee. So calculate pay, report hours, save, everything clear. But from the single responsibility principle, that's completely wrong. And wrong because these three icons represents different people. So CFO or Chief Financial Officer, Chief Operational Officer, and Chief Technical Officer. And from the single responsibility point of view, how to calculate salary, how to pay something, and logic behind everything related to finance, it's responsible of financial organization or CFO on our here diagram. Report hours and everything with reporting, it's about operational officer, or it may be human resources. I don't know, in different organizations it could be different, but definitely not the same as financial. And how to save product, in our case, employees' data, that's definitely a technical part of responsibility, and it's CTO. Obviously, not in all organizations it should be exact executive people, but I believe you got the idea that it's couple of people, and for simplifying this, I would say that it's a business function. So some business function responsible for some implementation. And let's probably work with this example further, and we'll see what could be in case we will violate this principle. How to violate it now? So here we have two different methods: calculate pay and report hours. Great. So both of them most probably use some algorithm which should calculate regular hours. And for example, some developer, for example, we have some requests from, let's say, operational department to update our logic, how we calculate and how we use report our hours in reporting. So the person just, for example, some developer, go to the class, update this reports hours method, understand that we have almost the same logic in calculate pay, move it to different private method like regular hours, because this developer clever enough and know about don't repeat yourself principle. So test it, everything worked correctly. The task moves through pipeline, and at the very end, people from operational organization check the result, and everything works correctly. Great, but changes was also inserted in calculate pay, which belongs to completely different department. And this change can be maybe crucial for business, how we calculate pay and so on. So that's how you could understand that something wrong. And most likely, in case you have seen in your software some unpredictable bugs, for example, people from different team change something, and something fail in your part of application, most likely that's violation of single responsibility principle. That something in your software combined in wrong way. Here we have also few diagrams how it can be fixed, but let's first continue to this important means that single responsibility principle says us how to divide and how to combine different parts of our application, different parts of our classes. And originally in the Uncle's Bob, Robert Martin's article, he said that here was inspired by another article. It was written in 1970s. And in this article was think that you should combine things that will change most likely and separate them from another part of your application. And if we are talking about single responsibility, it's not about some entities and combining functionality belonging to these entities. It's mostly about how these modules, classes, whatever, will change and who will request these changes. And you should try to combine things belongs to some particular business function in one place. And yeah, that's quote again from Robert Martins. So gather together the things that change for the same reason. So that's really hard to understand and define in the very beginning of the software development. But during the development, most likely you will see such things, and that's the idea how it should be combined. So how we can fix our employee data. So first of all, everything should be moved from employee data. So employee data should be just independent data representing some particular employee. Here you could see three different classes or modules that represents different business functions. Pay calculator, how our calculator, and employee saver. This class belongs to CTO. This belongs to operational department, and this belongs to financial department. Everything clear. So in this case, nothing will be changed in saving logic by request from, I don't know, accountants, and vice versa. That's maybe not clear from the architectural perspective, because many people likes to combine this and so on. So how it could be improved? You could use something like employee facade pattern, which combine different classes and provide a single interface for our employee data. But my favorite is this one. So in OOP, exists one principle that says that we should prefer composition over inheritance. And here a clear composition example. So two different classes can be implemented. So for example, saver, which fully responsible for responsible to CTO and all technical stuff, and for example our reporter. And these classes just passes to employee class constructor and used inside this class. So this class, you can see that also has all these methods: calculate, pay, report hours, save, the same as we have here, but in this case, it doesn't contain any implementation. So we don't implement saving logic in employee. We don't implement report hour in employee. And ideally, I don't know why there is notes on this diagram. Report calculate pay also should be in different class, which should be moved and should be in composition with our employee class. So to summarize our first principle, first, let's show this one. That's mostly about people. That's mostly about business structure of organization and so on, and to implement it and to follow it in your project, in your company, anywhere. You should understand business structure of your company, understand who is a source of requirements for your software, and divide and combine different parts of the system based on these particular business functions. And another thing that I would like to highlight about this single responsibility principle, it's not about responsibility of class, of modules, whatever. Just don't use this in your assessments, interviews, and so on. So it's about reason to changes, not responsibilities. So that's it from my side. I hope we have some comments on YouTube or our platform. So I believe the sharing can be stopped. and I will try to answer some comments from our platform. Can we change Jules? Thank you. Typer. Let me check. Do we have any comments on our platform? Okay, from Yuri. Do you have a list of the common roles like cheat sheeting? Controller, validator also would be grateful if you can provide examples of the components applied to FEA, React JS. Okay, so if we are talking about controller, validator, etc., it's not a business function. It's just part of your application. It's utility classes inside the application. So validator, it's something which validates something. If we're talking about Solid, it's not only about classes in classical OP. It's about module. What is module? According to Robert Martin, module could be file, could be folder. It's some of group of functionality. So in case you have a validator, for example, credit cards validator, it should be connected and should be placed in your application close to other financial related things. Controller, it's a completely different thing. It's about controller most likely doesn't contain any specific business logic. So if we are talking about MVC, it's just how we should get data from user and pass it to the model and so on. And business logic most likely realizes through them. Implementing inside the module. Inside the model, not inside. About React, oh, nothing on top of my mind, frankly speaking. If you don't mind, I will try to answer it here on YouTube on your comment, because nothing on top of my mind right now, and we have another questions. So the next one, will there be more episodes about Solid? Yeah, I'm going to talk about all principles, and most likely we will have an ending session which will combine all principles together, and I will show that it's impossible to follow, as I said at the very beginning, it's impossible to follow one principle and doesn't follow another one. So yeah, single responsibility is quite hard for understanding, but in case you follow all other principles, like open-close principle, like Liskov substitution principle, dependency inversion, most likely it will be neutral, that you will also follow single responsibility even without understanding of it. Next one, about people-centric way. What if the same person has two different activities? That's okay. So it's not about people, it's about roles, about business functions. So you should, for example, one person can be, I don't know, CTO and financial officer. Why not? So in this case, we don't consider this particular person as single source of changes. It's two different sources of changes. Why? One, financial officer, another technical officer. So think about how I understand it, how I use it in my daily life. So who is a source of requirement? For me, it's business analyst, but I ask usually business analyst who asked to implement this, who provides this, which stakeholder, and so on. And that's how I understand where is the source of responsibility for this. Okay, I believe that's the last comment. Thank you all. We are out of time. Yuri, I will answer your comment in the chat because I don't have enough time and nothing in top of my mind. I believe that's it. Okay, I see our organizer write me that all other comments in via community. Olga, unfortunately, I don't see anything in via community. Have no idea why. A module should depend on a single person. A person should be responsible to a single module. Is that correct? Partially, yes. So a module should depend on the single person. That's not correct. Not on person, but for actor. Actor could be one person, could be department, could be different different group of people and so on. So yeah, I see that there are a lot of questions. Great. I'm really sorry we're run of time, and I will answer all questions offline on comments, or we will create a separate maybe event with online answering to your questions. We will decide how to do it. Anyway, thank you all. I hope it was useful, and see you next our meetings. Bye.